All right, so I wanted to show you this. This was my mastery build for this next fight. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's time for the first war of the season. I was looking forward to this. You see I start off a little bit rusty. We have this buff and balance, power drain, return policy, and heal block. Here, some nice warm-up fights, and I'm glad I got them. You're going to see some mistakes being made before we get into the really tough fights, which are fights, I think, 4, 5, 6, and 7 for me. So I think the big mistake here, and the thing to learn, is I was tentative. I had told myself, you know, I'm just going to slap him. I'm going to heavy him and just slap him down, and that'll take care of it for me. And then I hesitated. And then after I hesitated, I was like, oh, man. But you know what? The power drain's not nearly as bad as I was expecting. And Doom, you know, handles hype so well. And then I was thinking about that, and then I'm going to send him to an SP3 here. I was pretty sure he wasn't going to kill Doom with the SP3, Doom being so tanky, things like that. But this wasn't really the way I wanted to start it. Fortunately, I had 45% health left, and I love Doom. He's like a security blanket for me. So I never really did get very worried. And I saw that I would be able to get to the SP3 if I needed it. I was just going to end the combo in a heavy here and then throw the SP3 right away. And this fight is over. Not really too much to be concerned about. Could have really just treated it like a normal Doom fight from the get-go, or stuck with the heavy plan. Either one would have worked. The point is choose one. Don't be trying to choose it in the middle of the fight. That's how you end up taking the SP1 from Hyperion to the face. So it was nice. It was nice to get some cobwebs out and get that down. Moving on to this next fight was the buff and balanced blood in the water here against this Warlock. I have not taken this placement before, so I was kind of trying to figure out how that was going to work out. Anytime you can't gain power, you have trouble gaining power, get a little concerned bringing in Cosmic Ghost Rider. But he should handle this fight just fine. I saw in the previous fight that the power drain is not that bad. I did remove willpower just to be extra safe and certain here, but went in with the 5-hit combo, ending with the medium at first, then the power gain, so ending with the light. Chose to just block that. I didn't want to chance dexing because I did just want to get to the SP2 and end this fight. Heavied on a parry and then separated that out with a special on the next parry. I'm really trying to do that even in quests so that I don't get to a war where I accidentally try to heavy and special in the same parry. If they're running limber, you could really end up in a bad place there. So I'm even trying to develop that habit in questing. That fight, as you can see, really wasn't anything too much to get worked up about. I did prepare for it. I think that's part of why it went so smoothly. But if I see that placement again, I'm not going to be too concerned. Had a bunch of these potions in the stash here, I think probably from buying deals and boosts and things like that. So it was kind of nice to have a use for them. Didn't want them to expire. And it was nice not to use any revives, just health pots. Going into this Corvus fight, this really should just be pretty much a Doom fight. It's not really that big a deal. I'm only going to gain power, as you can see that when he throws his specials, but I know how to evade Corvus's specials, so I'm not concerned. And if it really is a problem, if power becomes a problem somehow in this fight, I could just parry heavy, and I don't think it would take too long against this Corvus. He starts off with a fancy heavy of Corvuses there. And then you see, this is pretty much just a Doom fight. We're working against a little bit of a power drain, and we need him to throw a special so we can gain some specials. But we've only thrown, one combo, and he's already down at 80%, 76% after the second combo. So it's just gonna be a little bit of baiting the specials here and evading them, and just getting used to the idea that our combos are not gonna help us gain any power. I think I probably should have thrown, in hindsight, you know, I could have thrown a special there, especially that SP2 if I had wanted to, or the SP1, but it's really not a big deal. You see, it occurred to me in the fight there, so I threw it. It didn't really make a huge difference. Really, this is just about, you know, I'd have to make a series of errors. I'd have to make a series of errors to lose this one. So good warm-up fight, way to get some rust off, and get those done as we're going to move into some significantly more difficult fights as we go here. All right, so checking out this fight is something I really want to show everyone. This is Encroaching Stun, Stupefy, Power Reserve, as you move your way to 7, 8, and 9 in section 2 against this long shot. I was assigned Archangel. I love Archangel, and trust me, you're going to see some of the amazing stuff this guy can do and why he is so good. But just going in, I thought, okay, as soon as I get the 3 Neuros up, this fight is done. It is over. Some of you are probably already thinking, I know what mistake you're about to make. And I definitely make a mistake, but it shows how amazing Archangel is. This guy is incredible. And we're going to get to take a look at it. Fortunately, I did use the invulnerability boost. I don't think it's going to save me in this one, but it is going to come into play. I knew I had 3 very tough fights in a row, so I took them. Use that invulnerability, and I was hoping to get all 3 done, especially because the first 2 are with Archangels, and often those fights are so fast. We've had some really good RNG. We've already got 2 Neuros up, lots of bleed, so we shouldn't have any trouble getting a 3rd and potentially a 4th going here. I think, yeah, so I remembered we had 4 going, and I thought I don't even need to worry about the encroaching stun timer, but I forgot about Longshot's ability accuracy. I think it's like 300% or something outrageous. So if you ever see that fight, go ahead and throw the special with the timer. I, fortunately, because Archangel is so good and I had all the Neuros up, I wasn't very worried about the node itself. I thought he would have turned it off, but because there's so many Neuros, they ended, and I got the stun on Longshot there. You know, a lot of damage was done, so it was going to probably work out just fine, especially with the invulnerability. Now, moving on to this powerful Mafar Spite Domino. This is a scary fight. I've taken this fight 3 times with Mysterio, always managed to solo it, but I always felt like Domino was about to just destroy me. Let's put it that way. Going to be taking it with Archangel, which works out really well because Domino is not bleed nor poison immune. However, she does have that 50% chance to kind of shrug a bleed at 1 second and then gain some power there. You see it happened already. And then also with the power from afar, got myself in a little trouble. Also forgot that when she goes lucky, she will shrug the stun quicker. Fortunately, nothing too terrible happened, and I remembered why. I realized why she had shrugged that so fast. So I don't believe I'm going to make that mistake again. I do get the opportunity to make it again, but I decided not to take the opportunity this time. I think it's right here. Yep, there it is. So if you have this fight, Archangel is great for it, and you can see how well he can do. I think one of the things that might have been smart for me here was to maybe bait a special. I don't know what I was thinking, but I've actually pushed her red. I know what I was thinking. I was thinking I had the invulnerability boost, and it's not that big of a deal. However, if she had triggered, or if she triggers a critical bleed here, I'm done for. And whoever gets lucky versus Domino, I did. I got lucky versus Domino. Don't push her to the SP3 if you don't need to. It's a nice little wall play there, evading the heavy, and then coming in and getting the special, remembering not to throw my heavy when she's stunned and she's lucky. So you can get through this fight. Archangel can handle it really well. I do think I had some pretty bad RNG there, landing the bleeds and then the poisons, turning those into Neuros. But in general, I think that fight went fairly well. Just don't really want to push her to the SP3 if I don't need to, and bet on not getting a critical bleed. Then going into this fight versus Killmonger, I did not have time to look at the node, but it does have, I think it's the aspect of evolution. So he's going to be hitting very, very hard at some point in this fight. I just wanted to get to the SP2. I did still have the invulnerability boost, so I was not too concerned about if his power got too high or anything. But look how hard he is hitting even into my block now. And then remember I talked about I don't want to throw the special and the heavy in the same stun there, but I'm down to 48% health. I got a little bit concerned, but I was pretty certain that I would be able to end this fight with 1 or 2 specials, and I knew I had the power back boost on. So even though he's doing this massive damage into my block, I'm not really very worried about it. We have the 12, well now it's up to 15 armor breaks, and he's down. So that was very much just a Killmonger and Cosmic Ghost Rider fight, where if you play it well with with Cosmic Ghost Rider, you're gonna get it down. All right, so I wanted to show you this. This was my mastery build for this next fight. I am taking the mini boss Rage node with Wasp, and I'm going to be taking it with Archangel. Archangel can obviously shut off her abilities and the node itself. However, if while getting to the 3 neurotoxins, I do too much damage in a hit, I'm going to have problems because she's eventually going to go unblockable. So I completely removed all of my offensive masteries. I have never done this before. I've never seen this before. I'm sure it's been done, but I got the advice from B Manny. It made a lot of sense to me, and I just wanted you to see him. 48 points spent in the defensive mastery, just in case something went wrong. If you fought Wasp and made a mistake, she often goes into that heavy right away, and you're pretty much dead. But I thought, you know what? If I make a mistake, maybe, just maybe, I will get lucky. I even removed dex because I didn't want to, if I do dex something, I didn't want to crit afterwards. So I'm going to be relying on the heavy to apply the bleeds, and then blocked hits to get the poisons, and then the heavy, of course, to turn them into neuros. And I was ideally just going to be baiting her heavy and then using my own heavy to get those bleeds on. I'm not going to be able to do 5-hit combos and rely on crits from those. Also, if I stun her and she has limber, there's a chance by the time my heavy animation is done, she will be able to evade. So there was a little bit tricky there. You saw I considered using the invulnerability boost, but I decided, nah, I know what I'm doing. I can handle this. Baiting the heavy, and it's a very long animation. I fight Wasp on the Do You Bleed lane all the time, so I'm very comfortable with her animations. And you see it's working out beautifully. It is working out beautifully. I went through this fight plan with B Manny. Most of the tips were from him. And it's just working out ideally. There's that little light to close the distance off of her SP1. I'm not sure I needed to do that, but it felt comfortable. I did some duels and it was working out really well. And you can see this fight is just going fantastically. I'm really happy with how it went. And at some point here, watch, I think she's going to get a stun, and I didn't take advantage of it. I should have been paying a bit more attention to the neuros themselves instead of just being so happy with myself for how well the fight was going. And that would have allowed me to get another heavy in there. But nothing too terrible happens, right? Like, there's no reason to lament that during the fight. So now it's just a matter of finishing her off. I knew I was so close to my SP3 that if anything really went terribly wrong, I could land it. Got a little bit lucky there that she decided to run back into the heavy. But again, I'm not really sweating it. I'm not worried. I really feel like I got through this first war and got the cobwebs out in the first section. Got a little bit lucky with some defensive matchups, big boosts and things like that in the next 3 fights, but went 7-0 and helped my alliance get off to a great 1-0 start. Hey, and then these got posted right as I was getting ready to hit the final review on the video, so I'm excited to share them with you. I didn't get to share the end of last season, but you can see the stats there of season 23. But I'm off to a great start here in season 24. 7 kills, 0 deaths, 100% solo rate. You just saw the video, so 7 fights faced. True difficult rating, you see the kill rating, and then I'm 6th in the power ratings right now with the TDR per fight of 1.2, which means I'm taking some pretty difficult fights on a comparative level there. So it's early in the season. Being 6th doesn't really mean a ton because it's only been 1 war. And things haven't had a really chance to balance out, but it does show that I'm doing well. I'm off to a great start, so I'm excited about it. My goals for the season, I'm still really working for them, but that is definitely to improve. I was very excited about being 15th in power ratings for last season, but my issue with having them be relative like that is, if all of my alliance mates have death a season and I have 1 death, I still had a great season, and I definitely don't want my alliance mates dying. So I want to be cheering them on. So I'm not going to set it as far as being comparative, like I want to be 10th or something like that. I think I'm just going to continue to improve. I'd like to see my TDR per fight stay at a relatively decent level so that I know I'm actually an asset to my alliance, right? And even if that falls, then that means the solo rate's got to be even higher. So we'll keep those things in mind. I'm really excited to pay attention to it as the season goes on. I missed out on a card this war, but hey, you know what? That's all right. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on Twitter at Vega Gaming 583. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.